Morning, wonderful YouTube family. Lisa A. Romano here. It's one of those mornings. It's about 6 o'clock in the morning here. And I wanted to just immediately do a video because it's been one of those mornings for me where I've been, shaken out of bed by ideas that are floating through my mind. It's like 3:30 in the morning, and it's like my brain is just being flooded with information. And it's very odd how that happens. I don't know if that's menopause or what, or just whatever. But anyway, it was enough to get me out of bed and start writing things down tonight. And I wanted to share it with you. So if you don't know Neville Goddard, I suggest that you may want to begin studying his work. I've been influenced by a lot of very wonderful writers. One of my most favorite writers is Nathaniel Branden. I love his work. John Bradshaw, love his work. Love the work of Dale Carnegie. I've read works by Newton. I love Blake. I love Frost. And most recently, however, the past 5 or 6 years or so, I've been listening to Neville Goddard lectures, which have really helped connect a lot of the dots within my own mind. And I'd just like to share that with you. So yesterday I was listening to one of his lectures because I was one of my YouTube videos was not attacked, that's a very strong word, but some people are very uncomfortable when I start talking about God being within us and us being man being God, and the idea that the Son of God is us, that we are the Christ, that every child born to a woman is the seed of God or the Son of God, whatever, son, female, you get it. And so every once in a while I get a comment on my YouTube channel that is sort of accusatory, or suggests that I'm blasphemous or whatever. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. I'm okay with that. I have no right to tell anyone that they have to believe what I say. I do what I do, and people who are attracted to the information are divinely attracted to the information, and I'm cool with that. I in no way suggest that I am the end all. Again, what's happening to me on my journey is I'm still learning. I understand that once a human being thinks they know everything, they are unteachable. They are not learning. And so I never want to be that person. I always want to be, oh, wow, okay, let me play with that for a little bit. That's just who I am. And so I was listening to one of his lectures yesterday, and I just found it amazing. And what I do is I listen to other people's work, and then I filter it through my brain, which is all about trying to make very complex ideas very simple. We all suffer. We all have to deal with human emotions. We're all spirits trying to master this human experience. And I believe that there's a reason for that. I believe that we forget so that we can remember. Remember what? Remember that we are God incarnate. To remember that within us is the potential to be anything that we want. I think it's very interesting that cycles of dysfunction run in a circular pattern. And so my grandmother was an alcoholic. She was a very narcissistic, abrasive alcoholic who was very cruel to my mom. And my mom was the adult child of an alcoholic, obviously, in denial, still buried inside her own skull, and had me in denial. And then I was in denial of who I was, but also in denial of how wounded I was. And so the cycle continues. So if you think about the universe, the earth is also rotating in a cycle. And when we leave this planet, when we die, right, our bodies stay put in earth, but yet our spirits are, at least we think we do, we ascend. And so the world continues to roll, and our bodies are dead in it. We leave our bodies here. We cannot take our bodies with us. And so I think it's also very interesting that cycles of dysfunction are circular. It's a cycle. And the only way for us to die to that cycle and be born again of a new cycle is to ascend out of that cycle, is to accept that that cycle is going to continue without us. We have to choose to get kicked out of it. So one of the lectures that Neville Goddard had given spoke to this. I filter it through my brain, which I filter everything through this brain in terms of how can I relay really complex information to dysfunctional patterning and programming and brainwashing and spit it out in a way that makes sense. And so when I was listening to Neville Goddard's lecture about how the cycle of man on Earth is circular, but ascension is spiral. It's a spiral experience. It's an up experience. And I thought that was interesting so what I did was I said to myself, it's the same thing when you come from a dysfunctional home. So often my clients, my one-to-one clients, and those of you that I coach online in groups, speak about how you feel so rejected and spit out by your family of origin, who is still buried in their own skull, that represents denial and patterns of dysfunction, whether it's alcoholism or narcissism or whatever, or just abuse. You're being abused and the whole family is turning a blind eye to it, and they actually gel together to go against you. And so that puts you in a very painful situation, because now that you're waking up to the dysfunction, which means you're coming out of the circle of dysfunction, now that you're waking up, you're experiencing the pain of realizing what's happening in front of you, and now you have a choice to ascend out of it, to kick out of it. And so often what I find, including myself, is that we discover that being on the outside of this family that's on the inside is very, very painful. But in order for us to move forward and on with our life, we're going to have to accept that that cycle is going to run in a circular motion regardless of anything that we do. And that our job is to come to this planet and to wake up and to remember who we really are. And when we wake up and we realize and we start to see, like, oh my God, my mom's a narcissist, or my dad's a narcissist, or oh my God, my mom and dad are codependent, and oh my God, I thought this was normal. I thought all moms were afraid of their dads. I thought all kids were ignored. I didn't know it was normal or healthy to be asked, how was your day? I didn't know that I wasn't supposed to be afraid to spend money. I didn't know that I could be anything. I didn't know that I didn't have to be concerned about my gender or my race or where I was born. I didn't know. That was all my parents' stuff. I didn't know that I could do and be anything that I wanted. I didn't know that. So when you start to wake up, what's happening is you're getting kicked out of that circular issue. You're getting, the dysfunction is circular. It's a pattern, right? It just keeps repeating over and over and over and over and over. So when you awaken on Earth, what happens is there's a spiraling up and out of that dysfunction. So that's like being born again. What's being born again? You're waking up. You are developing knowledge. You're beginning to understand what's really going on in your family of origin. And now what happens is you die to the old self. You die to the old self. You must die to the old idea and perception of self that has been patterned into you since you were a newborn. The opportunity for you now, once you start to die to the old self, is for you to learn to accept and surrender that it's not your place to change the family. There's a reason for everything, and they will awaken here in this life experience or not. But if you have awakened in this life experience, that is your soul-specific journey. Your job is to keep ascending and spiraling up, because the ascension process is a spiraling pattern, if you will. It's a spiral dynamic where dysfunction is a circular. It's a circular pattern, if you will. It's 6 o'clock in the morning. I didn't sleep well, and I'm struggling to find the appropriate words. I really hope you're getting me. So when we die, it's the same thing. So if we think about what happens when we die physically, our bodies stay here on Earth, which is going to continue to evolve and go into circular patterns. The Earth is going to stay in its pattern. There's nothing that you can do about it, and you will ascend in a spiraling fashion to wherever it is we go once our spirits leave this planet. So the purpose of this video is basically to encourage you to stay on your path and to understand that man has come here, or females, you get the idea, we human beings, it is through the process of forgetting our true nature, which is divine, that we have the experience to awaken and remember. That's the whole point of being born. So what's the point of remembering anything? You can't remember anything unless you forgot something. And so the purpose of being, I believe, our nature is to come here and forget that we are God incarnate, and then to eventually remember who we are. It is the pain experience that allows us or gives us the opportunity to question what we're experiencing and to objectify what we're experiencing. It is the contrast between pain and love, darkness and light, good and bad. It is the contrast that forces us to wake up. So that's why I believe that narcissistic relationships, painful relationships, have their opportunities for us to question who we are and what we deserve. And on my journey, I've learned to say namaste and bless everything and anyone I've ever met. That took me a long time to get. On my road, I had to accept and feel and surrender to the pain that I had experienced in my life that so many people had said I didn't have a right to experience. And so I had to battle that within myself, which was, do I accept your reality or do I accept my reality? And it was tough to accept my own reality. You know, when the world is telling you, or the people that you love are telling you that you're crazy, or they're telling you that you don't have a right to feel what you feel, or they're saying that you're too sensitive, or they're saying that that never really happened, and they're suggesting that the things that you remember never happened at all, or they act like the abuse that you suffered is insignificant. And so, you know, it's quite the experience to begin to awaken to one's own reality, and then to learn how to stay on path with this is my reality, and to ascend out of this dysfunctional cycle that is circular. That's tough, but that's your journey. In the beginning, it's very difficult, but it does get better. So the goal is to understand that wrapped inside these very painful experiences truly is an opportunity to get out of the cycle and to leave the people right where they are. Just like you will leave your body right where it is when it's time for you to ascend and to join and to just spiral out of here and become the spirit that you are, the all-knowing spirit that you are. So that is the goal, dear one. It is my true hope that I've been able to clarify for you clearly enough my intent for this video. And I'm hoping that all of you are able to get to a point in time where you understand that narcissistic relationships can be eventually gifts to the awakening process, or the beginning of an awakening process. And I encourage you to stay on path and to continue to spiral upward and to continue your ascension process, regardless of how difficult it might seem in the meantime. Namaste.